Next presenter is Dr. Anna Kurian. Her topic is The Rise of Orbital Dyrofilariasis, Insights into its Epidemiology, Diagnosis and Management.
Good afternoon. My paper is on the rise of orbital dyrofilariasis, insights into epidemiology, diagnosis, and management. It is an emerging zoonosis transmitted through the bite of mosquitoes. The most common affected ocular site is subconjunctival space, followed by eyelids and orbit. The major species of medical concern are Dirophilia repens and immitis. The prevalence of repens is found to be 7 to 24% in stray dogs in Kerala in studies conducted by veterinary doctors. This is important because it is the most favorable definitive host. When the worm cannot be isolated from the subcutaneous excised mass, species specific polymerase chain reaction helps. My primary aim was to study the clinical pathological characteristics of patients with a confirmed diagnosis of orbital dyrofilariasis, and secondary aim was to highlight the importance of PCR in confirming the diagnosis. This was a retrospective study done on 39 patients with confirmed case for a study period of 2 years. Patient demographics, treatment approaches, and postoperative outcomes, blood parameters, mainly absolute eosinophil count, were included. All patients underwent orbitotomy and histopathological examination. PCR was done on only 31 specimens, 8 opted out due to financial constraint. Follow-up was done at 2 weeks, 1 month, and 3 months. All patients whose biopsy and or PCR confirmed the diagnosis were included. Patients who did not undergo surgical excision were excluded. Out of the 39 patients, 17 were in the age group of 41 to 60 years with a slight male predominance. In 2022 to April 2023, we saw 36% of our patients. It almost doubled in the second year, 2023 to 2024. The highest incidence of cases were noticed during June to August, the monsoon season. The most common duration of presentation was 3 to 8 weeks, seen in 51%. Only one patient had a disease duration of more than 15 weeks. Only 3 of our patients kept canine and 2 had feline pets. However, most of the patients lived in the vicinity of stray dogs. This is the geographical distribution of our cases. We had most of the patients coming from Thrissur, and maybe whether it has a bigger epidemiological influence, it needs to be studied on a bigger scale. The most common symptom was swelling with pruritus, seen in 16 patients. All of the lesions were in the anterior orbital space, with 13 being in the supraorbital region and 10 being the infraorbital. Coming to the signs, 23 of our patients presented with the presence of a mass alone. 16 patients had minimal inflammation, mainly edema, 5 of which showed skin fixity. The absolute eosinophil count was elevated only in 8 patients. None of our patients were immunosuppressed. All 39 patients underwent orbitotomy, out of which only 16 biopsy specimens showed the presence of a dead or degenerated worm. The presence of the multiple lumina within the mass is also an indicator of Dirophilaria infection. This is the cross-section of a nematode with thick cuticle, evenly spaced longitudinal ridges, and a prominent muscle layer. The remaining 23 biopsy specimens showed only fibrocollagenous tissue. Their diagnosis had to be confirmed using PCR, which tested positive for Dirophilaria repens. Out of the 16 specimens which had the worm, 2 gave a negative result for both D. repens and immitis. During the first follow-up, 37 patients showed significant improvement with no palpable mass. 2 patients had persistent inflammation, for which 1 patient needed oral steroids. The second patient required intralesional Kenacort injection. Coming to the discussion, the incidence was found to be higher in individuals aged 41 to 60 and during the monsoon season, implicating an influence of vector control. The rising stray dog population in Kerala may be a causative for the increasing risk of Dirophilaria infection, as evidenced by the prevalence of microfilariae in stray dogs in Kerala. All had localized masses confined to the anterior orbital region, so surgical excision was highly effective. All the lesions were non-tender, firm, with minimal signs of inflammation. So this is an important differential diagnosis in acute onset mass. The 2 cases which were not on any preoperative steroids or antibiotics developed postoperative inflammation. So maybe a short course of steroids in the preoperative period may play a role in the limitation of postoperative inflammation. There is an alteration in parasitic structures and decomposition of worms, so this causes an ambiguity in diagnosis. Hence, polymerase chain reaction is important in confirming the diagnosis and also understanding more about the disease. The negative PCR in the two cases with isolated worms could be due to an insufficient sample PCR inhibition or an emerging new genotype, as evidenced by the studies conducted by Pradeep et al. And Kumar et al. They have identified Dirophilaria hongonensis, which is almost similar to the repens species in both animals and humans in Kerala. The main limitation was this is limited to a small geographical area in the state of Kerala. Only patients who underwent surgical intervention were included. So the study population does not actually represent the entire census of the disease. To conclude, the possibility of an epidemic is probably because of climate change, vector, and host mobility. It is important to spread awareness regarding vector control and eradication of microfilariae in their natural reservoir. In an endemic region like Kerala, Dirophilaria is an important differential diagnosis of an orbital swelling. Molecular analysis is important to increase our knowledge of parasite biology and reveal new genotypes. This is my acknowledgement. References. Thank you. This was only for just 2 years, ma'am. I think we are planning to do a multi-institutional if possible, because this is just a very small area in Kerala. So, yep, we,
No, the census also you can get. Dilophilus is
Yes,
not
sir.
a unknown.
yes, sir.
You can get from the census data. What are the non-surgical
Yes, sir.
that you should have that denominator.
But then it won't be confirmed diagnosis. That's the issue. If it's not surgically excised, unless we have done ELISA, or it won't be confirmed.